Hello and welcome to Crossing Streams Podcast, the podcast that delves into the weird and wonderful world of live streaming. I am your host, Claire, and as always, my lovely co-host is here. It's the lovely, her name is Malula. Yes!
Hey.
And today we have a very special guest, super awesome streamer, and excellent human being. It is Toastie.
Hiya! Yay!
I need to program
myself.
I need to program audience sounds or something. Anyway, how are you doing, guys? How's everything? Have you been streaming today?
Nah. I stream. I'm a bit of a demon. I can't tend to stream late. So I've just been chilling. I just went to the shops, got a meal deal. And I just excited for this.
Brilliant. And Mel, you were doing your lunch club. Mel does lunch club daily, but it was slightly late today. Is that correct?
My lockdown coping mechanism is the fact that I take a break for an hour from my day job. But my day job completely sabotaged me today. So lunch club was at like 3:00 in the afternoon. But yeah, it happened today, which is good. And we've got this, which I've been super looking forward to.
I'm so excited. As you guys know, this is monthly and it's available on iTunes and Spotify. And every single month we talk about a different area of streaming, a different subject within streaming, I guess. But what we haven't talked about is content. So that's what we're talking about tonight. So but first of all, before we even talk about content, we need to get to know Toastie, right? Let's get Toastie with Toastie. Let's do it. So Toastie, first of all, let's go right back to the beginning when you were just Toastie Junior, right? So
Wee Toastie. Yeah.
Wee Toastie. When she was Wee Toastie, how did you find out about Twitch? What brought you to this platform?
So how far back do you want me to go back? Like way back in the day before like discovering games, or just when I started streaming? I'll tell you when I started streaming.
Go for it.
About just over 2 years ago. It was when I moved to London, actually. I moved to London for a lot of reasons. I basically just hit a wall in my life and I was like, do you know what, I'm just going to go down here and see what happens, like completely on a whim. And when I moved to London, it was quite scary. Because you're in London, aren't you? Do you remember? Like,
yes,
yeah, just not knowing, like meeting loads of new people, starting loads of new jobs. And I needed like an outlet, like a social outlet, like some familiarity from back home. So I started gaming. I was still gaming. And one of my friends that I game with suggested that I started streaming. And at first, I just started streaming as a way to just broadcast the games that I was playing with mates online, like Counter-Strike or PUBG. And it was, at first the stream was just like from my mates, like people I knew personally or through gaming. And then I seen like the community would expand and more people would come in. And then I don't know when I decided to take it seriously. It was weird because I'd went down to London to try and study acting and get into the world of acting, and then I ended up putting more time into the stream than all of that other stuff, and then I just saw a lot of potential in it, and I was just like, this is what I want to do. I kind of always knew in my life that I was going to do something online, like my job or something I did, because the amount of times that I spent online, I was addicted to the internet, as were a lot of us when we were kids. So at first, when I moved away to London, I told myself, I was like, right, no more games. I'm not taking the PC. I'm not doing it because it's too much of a distraction.
Yeah.
And then the opposite happened. I ended up finding a way to make it gaming productive for me in a sense.
And did you feel the same way, Mel? Because what Toastie said there is interesting. When Toastie, you said, oh, I've always knew I was going to do something online. See, I didn't feel it that way because I started offline too online. Mel, did you feel that way because you've got a day job? So did you always
so my day job's in television production, and I can remember like being around the age where you get to choose your A levels because that's what you go and do at uni. And I either wanted to be a vet
right,
or I wanted to work in the media,
right.
And I had to choose because I could do up to 4 A levels, but my biology and my media studies clashed. So I had to make a choice. So that's like my turn left moment in my life where I went down the media route. Otherwise, I'd probably be like a vet by now.
What made you
what made you go?
The thing is, I think I'd always got really a lot of joy out of film and television and like other media, like going to the cinema. And I was at the time, and I am still very into British cinema from like the 60s and 70s, and like how it used to be. I mean, it's not like that in TV anymore, but it used to be a case of like, if you worked at Pinewood, and you got to work on loads of different films, from like the Carry-Ons to the Bonds to like big budget stuff like Cleopatra. And I think I was just a little bit starry-eyed and thought this would be amazing. So I always knew I wanted to go into some form of entertainment business. But with me, it was always going to be very much behind the camera and just being involved in the magic. Whereas I think the beauty of Twitch for me is the fact that I do both sides of that. I'm a one-woman show, so I get to do all the backstage magic. But then I'm also the person bringing it forward for entertainment, which is really fulfilling, because to spend my day job making that vision happen for other people, to get to do it for myself, it's really fulfilling. But again, I didn't think I'd ever end up taking streaming seriously. This was very similar to what you were saying, Toastie. It was a way for me to stay in touch with other friends who gamed and us all see what we were playing together. I can remember spending a New Year's Eve when me and Inel weren't spending it together. We were both at home, but I can't remember why we weren't together for New Year's Eve that year. But basically, he streamed Life is Strange on Twitch.
Oh, great game.
And I watched it along with him, and that's how we spent our New Year's Eve. So it's become a much more like an extension of a human connection for me, which is definitely what Twitch has continued to be the longer than I've been on it.
Do you feel the same way, Toastie? The longer you've been on it, it feels more, especially in this time, do you feel more like it's a connection now?
It was definitely the community vibe that pulled me in, like at nights, like just in terms of being in London. It would get really lonely, especially because I'd moved there myself, and I had a flatmate that I knew, but he was always working or out and stuff. And like I said, it was a familiarity with back home and gaming. You know, like I feel like I can move a lot of places now. It doesn't matter, because I can still come online and see the same people and play the same games. So it was a connection in a way, and also not even just the familiarity, but I started streaming as well as a way to kind of improve my own self-esteem and talking to people and engaging with people, because I had a lot of, even though I wanted to be a performer or entertaining, go into entertaining, there was a skill when it comes to just talking to people that I needed to improve on. Like before Twitch, it took me a while to get comfortable on stream. I know you want to talk more about that later, but I started off really, really shy. And I feel like streaming helped a lot that way. Like there's a lot of skills that streaming's helped me with, and that was definitely one of them.
Did you feel like as well, Toastie, that when you first started in the early days and you saw your community grow, and I'd like Mel to answer after you as well, actually, about like goals, you know, did you have any actual goals when you started to see things kicking off, or did you just think, oh, you know, I'll just see how far this goes?
Goals at the start? No, honestly, I didn't. It was a weird thing to even, you know, with people kept coming in. I just thought, it was just a way to hang out. I had goals when I was in London. I was constantly working. I was training. I was really busy. It wasn't until I kind of saw the community, you know, just grew, and then I got really comfortable with streaming, and you know, I started to look forward to streaming every single night, and I thought, I want to take this more seriously, and you know, I want to keep it in my life, and I saw a lot of potential in it as well. And then I guess just the goal was just to just kind of expand and grow the community. I kind of use my stream to challenge myself a bit. That was kind of the main goal. Like I've heard a lot of streamers talk about this, like using Twitch as a way to self-improve. So as a variety streamer, like I always like with cooking. Like I'm awful in the kitchen, and honestly, if I didn't have the incentive for stream, like I'd still just make cereal and pot noodles. So I made stream like teach me how to cook, and started doing that, and it was fun. And then even IRL streaming in public and walking about, that was really daunting at first. The more I did it, I got really comfortable with it, and there's a lot of things in streaming. Even though gaming was the thing I primarily started with, and back in the day it seemed like, you know, Twitch was just for gaming, I knew from early days on that the platform was going to expand. You know, it wasn't just going to be gamers. It was going to be bigger for musicians, for comedians, for all that. And I feel like that's only going to grow, and therefore that's why I want to stay a part of it.
Do you feel the same way, Mel, about, like, I love that Toastie's just said, it taught me to cook and, like, be a better cook. Is there any skills that you've learned from Twitch at all?
Oh God, definitely not. Well, I've just actually demonstrated that. Definitely not talking in full sentences that make sense. I suck at it. I'm like, what? I think it's really weird. I know me and Claire have touched on it before in other podcasts, but we're both very introverted extroverts. So although we may seem like life at the soul of the party, because like we're here and we're obviously entertaining on Twitch, I can be ridiculously shy around people that I don't know. Like if I start a new job, I keep my head down for like 2 weeks and kind of read the room, and then I'll start making like the odd little joke, and then before you know it, I'm like, yeah, that's what she said, and then I come out. So like it takes a little while, and I think with Twitch, just like little things were goals for me from the beginning, like streaming with a face cam.
Yeah.
Like that terrified me when I first started. Absolutely terrified me. And I used to get really nervous before streams. But in terms of have I learned a skill while I've been here?
I think Toastie wins. I mean, if Toastie can cook now.
I mean, I definitely my cooking hasn't improved, but I haven't cooked anything on stream.
Well, you strengthened yourself in the terms of you were nervous with a face cam, but I mean, you're a lot more comfortable now. You're not a lot more comfortable. Imagine even listen to the sound of your own voice was something. I'm still not over it. I still hate it, but just like it. You watch back your VOD, you see what works for you. So I think everybody who streams for a while does acquire some sort of skill. When it comes to talking to a group of people, and community management as well.
Oh yeah, community management's a skill in itself for sure. That's something that I think you have to just learn trial by fire almost.
Yeah.
Shit happens and you're like, oh yeah. I'm the mum, right, okay, here we go, right.
Yeah, it's a lot.
You just have to go for it.
But yeah, it's definitely a skill.
Do you think, like, in terms of communication as a kid, like, think about how far we've come, do you guys remember any of the things like MSN or ICQ or anything like that? Were you on any of those? Toastie, were you on any of those as a kid?
Oh yeah, like I was on MSN. I was one of the people that you added on MSN because I was an emoji merchant. So I collected all the coolest emojis. You know, the ones like the big long emoji that was like 3 tiles side by side. It says "Warning, you're downloading a virus," and you'd send it to your pal, and they'd be like, "Who's sending me a virus?" And it's like, it's just an emoji. I was one of those people. I would collect them all, and like people would come to me and be like, "Can I get this one?" I'd be like, "So what you offering me?" Yeah, but I was on the MSN. That's the thing for me with gaming. I've realised, right? I've always thought I was quite an introverted person growing up. I was dead shy. Even though I loved entertaining and I loved people, I think I relied a lot on gaming as a kind of social outlet, especially like early high school, early primary school. I didn't really have many friends. A lot of my friends were online. So I started off playing games like RuneScape, like Habbo Hotel, a part of online forums, and the main draw for that for me was like the communication on it and the kind of the imaginative worlds that you could create on there with people. And yeah, after a while, like I kind of took a break away from gaming in later teenage years, and just because I had a really bad laptop and I couldn't. And then when I came back at university when I was about 19, 20, the main thing that I came back for was that I saw videos of DayZ, and it was voice chat that had been established in games. Like people weren't typing anymore, they were actually talking to other characters, and there was like role playing back and forth, and I was like, that's mad, like I can't believe this has happened and I'm not part of this. So I got a gaming laptop and came back, and yeah, gaming for me is, I only really enjoy it if I'm playing it with other people, whether it's Counter-Strike with a team or role-playing online. And I wouldn't really be playing solo games anymore if it wasn't for the stream, if I couldn't interact with the stream and share the experience with them.
I'm more like the ICQ days for me. that was like big news. It was just like ICQ
What's
was like
ICQ?
I was about to ask the exact same thing.
What?
I don't know
Mel's
what ICQ
basically
is.
the same age as me, and now I feel like I'm the oldest person in the
I
chat
had
here.
I had MSN, and I mean this dates me. I had AOL Messenger.
Oh yeah, I had that for a bit. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of
Had that for a
remember
bit.
that. I wasn't on it, but I know of it.
MSN was bigger, but like obviously I had an AOL email address, and we used to have dial-up with the disc and everything for AOL. So
Oh,
AOL
wow.
Messenger was old school. But yeah,
I
then MSN was like log in, log off, log in, log off. Like they'll see
Yeah.
I'm online and want to message me then. Log in, log off, log in, log off.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Yeah, yeah.
But I
remember
don't know.
that,
I don't know
like,
what
I
I
need the
don't know.
attention.
Yeah.
Online,
I don't.
offline.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what ICQ is. Was it like
It was
It's a bit like BlackBerry Messenger. I never had a BlackBerry, so I was
you
never
could
like one of these
message
people who just like
people.
send me your BB number.
You could
My
message
keyboard was too small
people.
for my fingers.
Oh man, I met a boy from Manchester from ICQ. My mum went with me to Glasgow Central Station. She was like, "I'm not having you meet some pervert off the internet." And it was just like some wee boy. So
Okay.
and then she kind of followed behind us for a while, and then eventually left us. It's so weird, and he was
Yeah.
really nice. And then he didn't say anything. We were so chatty and talkative on ICQ. Then he went
Aw.
back home to Manchester, and later that night he was on ICQ, and I was totally put off. I was like, right, I'm not into this guy, and I was
What
cutthroat.
age were you?
I was like 15 I think,
Aw.
pure cutthroat, right? And I did have a lot of experience with boys. And then he sent me this letter because I stopped ICQing him, and then he was like, "Claire, I really like you," and that scared the shit out of me. I was like, "Oh my god, too much commitment." Oh my
no.
god, I don't do well with commitment at all. So that was the end of my ICQ days.
Did you block him? Did you just patch him?
Just ghosted him?
Okay. That
like
was the brutality of like,
that's ghosting before ghosting was actually a thing.
Yeah, I
You,
was
like,
the
just-
online days.
It was like more kind of like if you ever watched Friends, like, you know, when he puts the book in the freezer, it was that moment where it was like, I'm gonna put the PC in the freezer and just forget it exists. So I was just like, shit. So that was so for me, like, coming on here and being very open to people is so far removed from how I felt back when I was 15, because I was like, this is not for me. I never want to speak to anyone again online.
Really? Did you get did that one boy put you off
Yeah.
online like Messenger forever?
Yeah, and a bunch of weird forums as well. I was like, ugh. So I was like, why am I on here? I've wandered onto some wrong stuff.
Did he catfish you? Was that the problem? What?
No, he was like a nice boy. I was just like, he sent me a picture of himself that looked better than I think what he looked like.
So he did. He did.
I mean, that is
catfish you,
like
yeah.
actual online dating today.
Yeah. It is actually, because I hear from my friends that go on like Guardian dates or whatever, and I'm like, that sounds like a nightmare. I tell you, if Paul ever leaves me, I'm just going to be crazy cat lady. I'm very happy with that. Like, very happy, not bothering with the online world. Anyway, we're talking about content here. Content. So let's get back onto it. So, tell me, Toastie, how has your content changed from your early days to what you're doing now? How would you say it's different?
Content, online content.
Yeah, your Twitch content.
I would say it's grown a lot. Like, I've grown a lot. I've learned a lot. I always knew, like, just me as a person, I'm quite an inconsistent person. I like change. I kind of change my mind a lot. So it never made sense for me to stick to the same thing from day one. I wanted to, you know, try all sorts of things with Twitch. From the early days, it was mainly like a confidence thing. So I started off just gaming with other people or playing Counter-Strike games that I could play, and occasionally just laughing at chat. But it was I was in call a lot, and I grew gradually the confidence to just host my own stream, and then realizing, wait a minute, like, people were in chat just to listen to me and play games with me, and just growing. Just being more comfortable. And then I started out, I think one of the first cooking streams I did, we played Portal on stream, and that became one of my favourite games. And do you know the game Portal?
Yeah, love it.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, it's a fab game. That was one of the first games I played on stream, and we had so much fun just chat, like, abusing me, telling me to do puzzles, and then I ignored them, and then I invented this completely new way they'd never seen before. I basically you were supposed to complete the puzzle, but I'd like use a chair or something and just jump through the loop, and they were like, "What the heck? You can't do that!" But I'm like, "It works." So yeah, we would rage at each other playing Portal, and then I decided I wanted to create the cake at the end, and then I did my first cooking stream just to see if I could create the exact cake from Portal, and that was the first cake I'd ever made in my life. I'd never made a cake before. My sister made loads when I was wee, But I always got the job of eating the cake. I wasn't allowed in the kitchen with my gran or my sister because I was too impatient. So yeah, this is the first time I did it, and it went. I really enjoyed it, and not only did I get to stream, I got something to eat afterwards. And then from then on, we just did loads more cooking streams, and I realised from then, you know, it's not just gaming or sitting in front of a desktop. I did a lot of IRL as well, and I took stream on holidays with me, and yeah, I kind of just wing it most of the time, but I just like the fact that Twitch is a lot more. Sorry, my mic's like falling off the stand.
It's all right. Control the sock.
Yeah. Twitch has just got endless like possibilities of ways to make content and stuff. And now, like, one of the newest things I started doing was podcasting just as this month, and that's one of the first times I've ever got people on stream with me just to talk about things, and that's just been really good because I've just really enjoyed getting to know other streamers. And yeah, it's just...
What is... you know what I think about the cooking streams, when you're talking about the cooking streams and how your content's changed. I've done a few baking streams where I made myself... Paul kept saying to me, this is so sad. As in, not the cooking.
What? Why?
No, not the cooking, but it was what I was making. So it was my birthday week, and I decided, this is in October just past, I decided to make myself a very ambitious Mario head birthday cake.
It was beautiful.
Oh, wow.
It was
beautiful.
I mean, close up, Mel, he looked a bit like he needed a facelift, but you know, like
did you get the proper fondant icing for
got
it?
the fondant icing, coloured it all, like smoothed. I mean, he looked a bit cracked, but Paul kept going, "Why are you making yourself a cake on stream? That's so sad, Claire." And I was like, because I want
It turned out all right. It kind of looked like, you know, when you buy like knockoff merchandise from the market.
Yes.
So it looks a bit like Mario, but it's obviously not Mario. Yeah, that was Claire's birthday cake.
There's a picture somewhere on Instagram where I'm looking really proud of my really haggard Mario head cake. So I made myself a cake. But you know what, Toastie and Mel, actually, I feel more under pressure when I'm playing a game on stream. I feel more nervous than I do when I'm in the kitchen just cooking. It feels like somebody's with you, relaxed. But when I've got a game on, sometimes I feel like there's a great pressure to be very good, and I can't figure out the puzzle, and I'm standing there and I'm very impatient. I'm there for like 20 minutes going, "Mods, can you watch a walkthrough for me, please?" Do you feel like I'm shit? I'm really rushed.
Google it.
Yeah, or I'll Google it on my phone. Go right. We have to click on this thing, and then we have to go forward. But Mel, do you ever feel like that? Are there any games or any content that makes you feel pressured to perform in a way?
First started, because I didn't have a PC when I first started streaming. I used to lean very heavily on the game that I was playing to be the content. And I think it's only since I started PC streaming, which is probably beginning of last year, that I started kind of just doing more other random stuff, like the beautiful thing that is Twitch Sings.
Yes.
And like just
love Twitch
more
Sings.
kind of like more like just having matters with people and not feeling like, okay, well, I'm live now, I better get on with the game. I've never felt pressured to be good at a game.
No.
I am blatantly obvious with my community, and I've always said, look, never said I was professional. You're not here for professional gameplay. Let's be honest. You're here for me to get really, really angry at the fact that I'm stuck here, and you're gonna laugh at me. That's why you're here.
That's why they love it, though. Like that rawness. Yeah, people love the scuffness of Twitch.
It's just like, look, if everything was beautiful and polished, you'd be watching broadcast television. You're not. You're watching me in my bedroom make stuff up as I go along. So it's like watching a panto when everyone's forgotten the lines, but they're still having an amazing time and everybody else is laughing along with them. But I think games that I've kind of, I don't know. I mean, I tend to play like, especially like puzzles or detective games, rather than having it all on my head. I try to involve the community as much as possible. So like we're a hive mind. So, but I feel like if maybe I played more combat heavy games on stream, that I would feel the pressure. Like, oh my God, I missed that shot. Or, oh Jesus, that should have been a headshot. But I think because of the style of games that I tend to do in between all the other gubbinge I do on my Twitch channel.
What other kind of styles do you do?
I mostly do narrative heavy kind of story games. I love stuff that have decisions have consequences. So all of the Telltale catalogue, stuff from Quantic Dream, Detroit Become Human, I absolutely loved, and I need to do another playthrough of that.
It's a great way to like ask the community as well, you know, story games.
So sort of shaping it as we go along. Absolutely loved Life is Strange. I've been promising forever to start Mass Effect because people keep telling me how much I'd love Mass Effect.
I
So I
mean,
need
Mass
to do
Effect
that.
2, just for the great romances. I just I was like, right, who are we gonna shag? It's like,
Well, that's genuinely the sort of conversations I would be having with chat. I'd be like, right, who's getting laid?
oh
Come
my
on,
Garrus,
tell me, because you
Garrus
haven't
every
been.
day.
And I love it's the same thing with full motion video games. Like,
Yeah.
I love full motion video games. It's basically like, for anyone who's never played at FMV and they've have watched Bandersnatch on Netflix, it's basically that you choose a path and make decisions, and it's all very similar. But I tend to do that sort of stuff, so it's never anything that's too skill based because I'm not a skilled gamer, and I've never set out to say, yeah, I'm really good at this game. It's more about me just kind of making it up as I go along.
Personality based.
Yeah. I
your
think
streams,
people like what Toastie said earlier, like people love that rough and ready vibe of Twitch. Do you know what I mean? Where you're just kind of going, you know, when stuff like messes up and I'm panicking, but everyone's going ah ha 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 and spamming emotes and stuff, going muted mic, and I'm like, all right, you guys like this? Fine.
Still to this day, I get muted mic.
Yeah, it's like a daily occurrence now. I think twice a stream at least. It's friggin' annoying. God.
Oh, technical difficulties are the bane of my. Honestly, I've almost rage quit streaming so many times because it just never ends. There's always something that's gonna break, or there's always, especially because the UIs and stuff we're using now, they're still, a lot of them are still in beta. They're still getting developed. They're still trying new things, and a lot of them are just utter rubbish. But yeah, I've had every my stream knows every time I stream they're expecting at least half an hour at the start, and we try to fix things, and things just breaking, and me cursing Streamlabs every name under the sun. But yeah, I want to say, like, see, you were saying about like playing skill-based games and story games. That's something that I've always kind of battled with as well with streaming, because off streaming I play a lot of skill games like FPS and stuff, but you were saying, Mel, it's not only is it's more pressure, but it's hard to communicate with a community. Like, it's hard
You're
involve
so
them in interaction.
focused on the game. Yeah.
And I've realized the crowd, like, I could happily like play Valorant or Counter-Strike for ages, but I don't like streaming it because, you know, there's not really any point because there's not interaction. Whereas, like you said, with story games, it's a way to get them involved, and that's kind of how I now see myself as a streamer. Anything I play, the community's heavily involved in, whether it's GeoGuessr trying to find out where we are, or quizzes, doing quizzes together. I think to be a good FPS streamer, a skill-based streamer, you either have to be like amazing at it, or just be in like one of the orgs. I don't know. It's just that doesn't work for me. So that's something that I've never tried to push on stream.
No, same. Like this. I mean, even games. I went back to a game. It was one of the Batman games that I played off stream years ago. Arkham Asylum, it was, that's it. And I was really good off stream because, you know, I'm sitting in my beanbag in my own filth, just playing it with nobody watching me. But I'm trying to like talk to people, and I'm getting frustrated, and I just rage quit it. I was like, you know, F this shit.
Did you?
Yeah, I was just like, F it. Like, that's the one rage quit I've had on stream. That's why I'm like,
what was this Batman?
It was like it was Batman Arkham Asylum. It was like these bad guys were piling on me, and I was like sweating, and I was oh my god, everyone thinks I'm shit. Inside my head I was like, they think I'm shit. It became just swearing for 10 minutes, and I was like, no, I can't do this. Like, so I just quit it, and I've never gone back to it, and I uninstalled it out of anger. I was like, F this. Like, I'm just not going back. I'm like with Mel, I prefer like where we can get a conversation. Like Moons of Madness was good, you know, like puzzles and space and horror, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm currently playing the Turing test, which I just started. I'd heard really good things about it, and I just thought, oh, this will do. It looks kind of like, apparently there's puzzles, and we're in space somewhere, and I was like, great, we'll see how this goes, see how it kind of lands, see if everyone wants to play along. And it's basically like a Portal style puzzle game, but instead of having portals, you're moving energy sources. And I was just like, this is great. So we've been playing that together for the last couple of weeks. But it's really nice when you stumble across games like that, but there are other things that I know that I would like to play, but I know in my head they're not stream games. They'd be things to do offline.
Yes.
Because it's just not got that level of interactivity.
I think it's important as well, though. It was something I realised, like, to play games offline for yourself, you know, like your own time. Yeah, I felt so much better because at first I would only play games on stream, and at the start of the stream, you know, when you get it's easy to get your mind just completely all about stream, thinking about stream every part of the day. I think it's important, you know, if you're a gamer and you're passionate about games, to also have your games for yourself off stream,
I
to have
think
like
I think
your own
Toastie,
time.
you actually the most important thing, and everyone listening to this, whether you're live or not live, what you've just hit the nail on the head as well. You have to enjoy it. Do you know what I mean? You have to really freaking enjoy it, and it has to be entertaining for you as well. There's no point in I don't think there's any point in trying to force yourself to play a game. I see, and or like trying to be in a category on Twitch. I see that a lot. Where, and I didn't think of it before, and Mel sort of flagged it as something that some people do, where they go and they play maybe Overwatch or Fortnite or whatever, just to get the figures in, you know, to get views up and stuff. They're not really, or people aren't really enjoying it, and then all of a sudden they do something else. Just doing things that you enjoy is the best. And I think people enjoy it along with you. But in terms of your like planning content, whether even if you don't plan content, Toasty, like on a daily basis, do you have planned content for maybe weeks ahead where you go, oh, I might try this podcast here, I might try this person coming on here? Do you plan at all on stream?
Yeah. Most days during the week when I'm just turning stream on, no, I'll have like a game or I'll think. I tend to go with energy a lot. I'm kind of someone like, it's a given and a curse. I find it impossible to do stuff well if I'm not in the mood for it, if I'm not passionate about it. And that's something I always like, I feel like drags me back with stream, that I don't have a solid schedule. Like every week you can expect this, and this. I kind of just go with what the flow. But in terms of planning, for like cooking streams or fundraising streams or podcasts, I'll try and plan them a bit, as in I'll get the ingredients. Like if you know I'm going to do this recipe, I'll go get the ingredients the day before.
Sure.
And then I tried to plan it a wee bit more at the start, but then I found out planning with streams is just really bad mentally, because the whole point of a stream is it's improvised, it's live, and anything can happen. And I think that's the beauty of it as well. You know, people like, you allow your chat to interact and do it. And like I was talking about this the other night. Actually, one of the biggest streams I tried to plan was Robert Burns' haggis stream, like making haggis for the first time. And you know, because I'm Scottish, like it's a Scottish tradition, so I had to do this. I had to do this perfect, you know, for my community to kind of show off. So show off about Scotland. So I learned all the history about Robert Burns. You know, I got the haggis prepared. I learned a poem. I learned a address to the poem. Like, I learned it off by heart.
That's
And I was like, yeah, we're gonna do this. It's gonna be perfect. But like a lot of stuff had gone wrong that day, like technical wise, and then I was starting late, and then I was stressed. And at one point, I was like, I don't know if I can do this today, but I can't do it any other day because Robert Burns is only one day of the year. So it's like, needs to happen tonight. And then I started stream, and then it was going all right, but I'm really slow at doing stuff. So it was already like 9:30, 10 o'clock, and I was still chopping the onions. And this random guy just comes into the kitchen. I was staying with a friend at the time, and his wee brother. And this random guy just comes into the kitchen, and he's like, "Hello, I'm Chef Jackie. I'm here to help." And the whole stream just immediately goes, scripted. She's getting assisted, scripted. And I'm like, I don't know who this guy is. I swear to God, I've never seen him before in my life. It turns out it was my friend's brother's friend, who was a chef and just wanted to help because he was over chilling.
Oh right, some rando who's like, hello.
Yeah,
he's an actual chef.
Yeah, he was an actual
Oh, that's
chef.
amazing.
Yeah, but in my head I was like, no, it's not going to go the way it does. I haven't planned for this. Like, what's going to happen? But I just went with it. I was like, okay, I on you go help. And to be honest, I don't think I would have got the haggis finished had he not been there and helped with the veg. And it also allowed me to interact more, you know, and boss him a bit. I was like, you can chop that. I'm just going to stand here and talk about Robert Burns. And it was fun. It was a fun stream. But it was that point where I was like, yeah, you can't plan anything, and you kind of just need to be open, like, to improvisation and the fact, you know, anything can happen. So loosely plan, yeah, because I think I like to do planning in the sense that I know, like, if I'm going to do a certain stream, like, plan what kind of content, or if I'm going to do like a community review, you know, get like one we did recently for the first time was getting the community to submit pictures of themselves where they were babies, you know, like get that all organized and do it for stream. That was really fun. But actual like planning each stage, no, I don't think you should do that as a streamer.
No, it is difficult because I try with the shows to plan as much as I can, but even then you've had where the sound goes off, or the actually one where my guest co-host just couldn't even like get the thing working, so we had to just skip the whole show and we just had to like move it to the next week. Do you quite planner as well, Mel, or do you just kind of go with the flow?
I semi-plan. There are certain streams, like certain content strands on my channel where I will get really militant about it. But I only tend to get stressed when I'm relying on somebody else to give me information. Because otherwise, like if I've got a plan or I've got a new overlay or I want to do something like, I don't know, something silly, like I know Animal Crossing was coming out. So I was just like, I'm going to make myself a new overlay for Animal Crossing. I'm fine and I'm cool and I'll prep, and I made myself a new like Tom Nook transition, so every time we went back and forward to the scene, that's fine. So I will prep in that sort of way, but unless I'm doing something that has somebody else as content, similar to like what you do when we do crossing streams, like when I do Bog of Eternal Stench, which is such a weird thing to say out loud to people, because people are like, what? And I'm like, have you seen the movie Labyrinth? And I'm like, that's why. And
Bog of Eternal Stench is amazing. It's like, for those who don't know, it's like Room 101. That's basically
so I have guest streamers come on and they tell me their 10 pet hates, and then basically vote about whether or not they should be flushed into the Bog of Eternal Stench forever. And obviously once I've got like the main key aspects of that together, it's brilliant. But then the pet hates come from the streamer, and then there's the scheduling, everything else. So I try not to plan too many of those things, because I in my head I'm already thinking, oh, that's quite a lot of work, and I'm going to have to chase people up, and they're going to tell me their 10 pet hates, and then I'm going to have to find I don't know, like sources to put up and all the rest of it. So I mean, I would love to do more ambitious stuff like that all the time, but I just don't have the headspace for that amount of planning.
Yeah, and then you'll not enjoy it if you plan everything, because if something's going to go wrong, something's going to happen. And if you put all that pressure on yourself to plan everything, it's not going to work.
I'm a weirdo and a freak, and I love planning stuff, and all the things I've got are all about planning. I love it. Yeah. I love bullet points, as you guys can see from the running order I set through. Like, this bullet point, then that bullet point. I really like it. But yeah, I accept that shit can go wrong, and I'm okay with that. Actually, when shit goes wrong when you're doing something at a Comic-Con live with eyeballs on you live, or if it's going wrong in the studio or something like that, that is like a bit more like, oh no, oh my god. But actually on stream it's fine, like if something goes wrong, even if you've planned it all out. I quite like the chaoticness of it. And sometimes things go wrong and people don't even know in the background. The other day I was doing the top 10 list of all the shows. I programmed my stream deck, but I didn't put the images in order from 10 to 1. Totally messed my brain, and I was panicking and smiling and panicking, going, oh my god, I don't know what's next. Didn't know what their choices were. I mean, honestly, like I was just smiling. But I think it's like, I quite like
this
planning.
Is fine. Fire alarm me.
Pure fire in my brain. All the little gerbils in my head were like, abort. Yeah. But it's Twitch. People, I love that people accept like the chaos. Like it's good.
I think there is a lot of spread. Like from what I'm saying is, no planning is bad. Like you have to plan some things, but not like it's a show. I think that was something I actually struggled with at the start, because I was used to doing like theatre or like scenes, acting. So I was used to having scripts and stuff. And even though I loved improvisation, it was just getting more comfortable with just being myself and not knowing what's gonna happen. But I think every streamer who does like yourself, you plan, like your audience, your community, respects that. Like it says that, like when I go into streams and streamer has all their own like emotes or like scenes and stuff like you do, and like different kind of like quirky stuff, and everything's like if you like your wee marbles thing, or you've got your shows each week, people like that, because it shows that you're reliable as a streamer, and you're consistent. And it's something I need to work on more. Like I still get broken alerts and stuff, and they've been broken for months, and I'm just like, this is bad. Like I need to.
It's hard though. Like it's a lot of admin, because you're in your pajamas in the morning sometimes, going, oh yeah, remember to do this, gotta do this, gotta do that, and it becomes like an actual job. But in terms of a viewer, though, that's a question to both of you. Toastie, you go first. As a viewer, what draws you in content-wise? If you're just taking a break and you go to watch a streamer, what draws you in?
different kind of content at first. Like, if the content, something that's kind of stands out, a strong community as well. One of the things I always say, I love that my community does, and a lot of like yourselves as well. Like if you go into a stream and you say hi, everybody's like hi, 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 and you get this really big welcome. And then the more, even like the community talking like amongst themselves, and you go back, it's familiar face, a strong sense of community, definitely. Someone who's quite personable, who interacts a lot. Like I don't tend to watch streamers who just play the game. Sometimes I'll have them up in the background, but I watch them loosely. But to have me come back as a recurring viewer and get involved and be active, it's more about the community and the person. I like streamers that are quite open and tell like wee stories and get their chat involved, which is what I try to be. So
same, absolutely same. Because it's nice to, even if you can't be a participant and you're lurking, I quite like listening in the background because I'm working all the time. What about you, Mel? Do you agree? Would you say that's the kind of streamers you like to watch as well?
Yeah, I think my stream tastes kind of mirror what I do. So I like people that have very high interaction with their chat. And that there is a sense of community and also a friendly chat as well, because there's nothing more terrifying than going into any community, whether it's a teeny weeny one or a massive one, and being just like, hi, I'm new here, stock emoji. And absolutely nobody paying any attention to you, not even the mods. And it's just kind of, it's because you think some people, bless them, and I mean, I know I used to be like it when I first started watching Twitch. You'd be terrified to talk in somebody's chat because
I still am sometimes.
Hello,
it's
you want to be my internet friend. But I would definitely rate interactivity and also positive communities as well. Not to say that I don't like watching people go on rants and vents, because obviously I do that. I think we all do that at some point. But like a general positive overview. And it's just the sort of thing that makes you think, I really enjoyed that today. I'll make sure that next time they're on, maybe I'll give them a raid, because their community seemed really cool. I really liked their content. Because that's something else I do as well. I mean, obviously it's like general Twitch etiquette. I will never go into a chat and be just like, hey, I stream too.
No, I hate that.
Like it's really sweet, and I get that you're trying to tell me something about yourself and vice versa. But there's a very, very fine line between telling us about yourself. Like if I said, hey, how are you? Tell us about yourself. Like, how did you find me? Have you been on Twitch long? They could be just like, oh, I found you through the recommended page. And yeah, I've been streaming on here about 6 months now. I'd be like, okay, great. How's it going? Like, as long as it's part of an interaction, it's fine. It's just one of these weird things about like social relationships on the internet and how we should interact and what's rude and what's not rude. It's all just many layers of what not to do. But
it happens all the time as well. I always say to people, Mel and Toastie, you probably think the same. Like, imagine you're in your wee room and you were all hanging out in your wee room. Someone, thingies you in the shoulder. You look like Lorraine Kelly. I get that a lot. I had it today. I'm like, well, thank you for coming in here and telling me that. Okay, but like, why don't you say hello first? Or someone tapping me on the shoulder, going, "Are you Chinese?" And stuff like that. And I'm like, right. Or just blurting something stupid out. Talk in sentences, number one. And number two, like, try and just say hello to people when you come in, because it's like a wee room that we're all hanging out in. It's not unfriendly. But if you come in with that, I'd never do that in a pub. Excuse me, what shoes are those? It's so stupid. It's like, it's so dumb.
Or just spam. I think it's just types of people. Like, that's the thing with the community. You get certain types of people that are maybe fannies that just don't know how. They all conglomerate to one stream, and you it's like, it's subjective. The communities are all slightly different. But like you were saying, Mel, about positive community, that's something straight off the bat. Like, it's something I had to learn as a streamer as well, because my stream like to say sometimes I'm toxic. I'm not toxic. I'm bloody lovely. It's like a bit of banter where sometimes I'll get raging. Like
a little bit of salt never kills anyone. That's what it is. Yeah.
So there's doing that, and there's being sarcastic and having a laugh. But then sometimes I remember there was a point in my community where people were either taking it a bit too far. Like the lines were kind of blurred, and you would go on the Discord and it would just be constant sarcasm back and forth. And anytime someone said something, even if it was a new person, there'd be a sarcastic remark to them. And then it had to, I got to the point where I was like, it was making me anxious sometimes going on stream, because this is like most of my community. Well, this was like years ago. Going on stream, and I was like, every time I went on stream, I felt really defensive because it was just too much. So I had to kind of address it with the mods, and make it aware that I'm not sure about the overall attitude with the community, and it turned out that the community wasn't growing at all because new people were too scared to interact. Because it is kind of daunting to get into a stream. Everyone's really sarcastic, calling people out. I'd be scared to say it, in case I get pulled up. So that was something I had to make a conscious effort to change. And it has, and now we're still salty, we're still toxic one another, but I'd say I've like got a really, really wholesome, like welcoming community overall. But I think a lot of streamers I know have went through the same, where maybe their community's got a wee bit, the attitude's got a wee bit too dark, and if you've had experiences with that.
I've had experiences of bad eggs, roots, and like Mel know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, same. We had the same bad egg.
We had the same bad egg.
But it cross-pollinated. Eggs don't cross-pollinate, do they? It cross-pollinated. The egg cross-pollinated and kind of straddled. Ooh, sexual word. Straddled. Are both our communities. And after that person had been removed, I actually had at least 4 or 5 people reach out to me and DM me on Discord.
Same.
Saying, I know something's kicked off and you've not really gone into much, because I wasn't going to start shit talking for people. It's basically like, look, this has happened. So I've had to remove someone from the community. If you wish to remain in contact with them, totally fine with me, but just to let you know that they're no longer welcome here.
Yes.
That was all I said. And I had a number of messages that basically said, I'm so glad you've done that. Like, I've really not felt like coming into streams recently because they've been there. I felt really uncomfortable. And it made me feel terrible, because I was just like, God, I should have done this earlier. And I think you need to, I would always like to think that my community is a reflection of me. And like my mindset, but obviously I can't control a community of people, not like any of us can.
No.
But it's you just don't want it suddenly to be almost like cliquey gatekeeping, because you're never going to get anybody new through the door. Like if your community's a little bit toxic or a little bit bitter, and they're all very happy being a little bit toxic and bitter to each other, nobody else who peeks their head round the door is going to go, hey, this looks like a fun place.
It's not
Let's hang here, because
it's
not
exactly what I went through.
Yeah, because there are so many lovely communities on Twitch. And finding new communities and new streamers who have lovely communities is one of my favorite things about this platform. Because I'm constantly surprised by how freaking lovely people on the internet can be.
Yeah, they can
when you're told, like, as a child, don't trust anyone on the internet. It's just like, I know. But yeah, no, I've definitely had that. I mean, me and Claire shared a encounter.
We shared an egg.
We shared an egg that cross-pollinated.
It's one of the big things is learning, though. Someone doesn't necessarily have to be directly breaking TOS to ban them. Like it's something. It's an attitude, like you said. It's hard to even realize. It's just constant negativity, and it's making everyone else uncomfortable. But they're not outright saying like really offensive words or anything. So it's like you almost think like you deserve it, because I'm streaming. That's the kind of people I must attract. But that was a thing I learned early on, and respect to Lemmy. Like, Lemmy doesn't put up with it, he's just like ban, and I'm like, I need to be more like that, because the more you put up with it, it shows you enable it, and it shapes the attitude of your chat. And if your attitude shaped like is a kind of toxic negativity, uncomfortable chat, it will only grow from that.
Yes.
And then it will just manifest from that, and then you'll push people out, and then that will what it become. So it used to be a debate back in the day. I didn't really know if you were responsible for the community, a reflection of you. Like, do streamers have control? It's still a big debate in streaming. Like, the community is made because of the game you play, or you can't help what you get exposure. But I honestly think overall you have a responsibility to shape the attitude of your community. Sometimes you can't help what people say, you can't help what people come in, but you can mod what people say. You can decide what to give attention to, and at the end of the day, what you give attention to, even reading out nasty comments, that's still enabling it, because you're still giving attention to these people. So people will think, oh, I need to be horrible in order to get noticed. So I've learned a lot, and just and knowing what to say and like what to give attention to and what to kind of how to kind of shape it.
It's hard, like kind of being. I think as communities get bigger as well. I've seen very big communities. I've seen medium sized and small ones. And is this one? This one's really grown. We've grown quite a lot in the last sort of 6 weeks, especially as we've gone towards certain goals and things. And I'm noticing a difference now. I'm a lot. I mean, I'm hard. I was hard anyway after. Let's just say the straddling egg. So I was very hard after the straddling egg. I love that's the new name. That's the new name.
Oh, welcome to the inside of my brain, guys. The straddling egg.
Hey, if you want more of that, then get Mel followed. Get her followed. If you want innuendos and weird chat, then Mel's for you.
Stuff that makes no sense.
Stuff that makes no sense.
Yeah.
Let's just say when this, now that I've learned from the straddling egg incident. And now I'm just like, I've very low tolerance. I'm an impatient person anyway, and I run a business. So I started to think of it like this. I'm not going to run my community like a business because that's wrong, because it's a community. Mm-hmm. But I'm the mum, right? And I've got to be kind, and I've got to understand everyone, So I try and get to know everyone and get to know their style of chat, what they're doing. Try and remember, like, if somebody's had a slice of cake that tastes, I remember like Lazy Crazy Brain was eating cake and had a bath the other day, and I was like, oh, how was your cake and blah blah. And so I try and really remember that and try and get involved and make sure the mods understand where my mindset is, because without the stream, the mods, I mean, honestly, without the mods, the stream really, it would fall apart. I love the mods so much. So it's trying to be like a stream mum kind of thing, and trying to get really involved. But anyway, let's go back to content. In terms of content, right? So because I love how we always talk about community, because it's how Twitch is built.
Twitch. You can't talk about any aspect of Twitch without talking about community, because if you haven't got a community, you haven't got a stream. No, so we always go off on a tangent, don't we?
No, I mean, you could do podcast after podcast about bloody community, because it's so important. But in terms of like, we've seen in the pandemic, it's been a really interesting time. If I look at television first, and the amount of boring content that they've just regurgitated things, but like it's a Zoom call. There's nothing interesting going on television. And then I look at live stream platforms like Twitch. Is live streaming, do you think, Toastie, the future of entertainment?
Yeah, this is a hard one, right? Because I've got two opinions. On the forefront, it was, when I wanted to do entertaining, I love theatre. And one of the main reasons, even when it was kind of that battle between, would I put more time into acting, theatre, or streaming? And passionately, I love theatre more, because the main reason I get to connect with other actors. It took me a while to realise this, but just, being in the moment with people. And one of the drawbacks for me streaming is it can get quite lonely, like as soon as you turn stream off, sometimes putting on the mask, all that kind of thing. Even though I love it as well, I've always been really passionate about theatre, but the reason I stuck with streaming is because, I do believe, like, putting yourself out there on the internet it was more worthwhile. And the way, like you said, you've even mentioned, like, television is dying, theatre's really struggling, more and more people are coming, online to entertain and interact. I feel like people are more sought after interactive content, instant content, whether it's a film they can interact with, it's community, it's, like that kind of parasocial relationships between streamers and communities. And I think it's weird though, because it's almost like the world's more connected, but we're not at the same time. Like, more people are connected online, but there's also a lot of, like, there's a lot of other dark sides to it, like where people are still quite alone. But yeah, I do think live streaming is going to come a long, long way. And it's only going to get bigger, and it's going to less just be for people watching games, and it's going to branch out into all sorts of content. But it's interesting though, because I always think about the quality of the content, because with films and movies and TVs, it's projects for years, and it's built up and it's edited to this like 2-hour thing, whereas streamers are live every single day almost of the week, just going with the flow. Like, and is that going to be the kind of content that people end up watching more than television, which is all scripted and worked on by big production companies? Whereas, you know, here it's just Tom, Dick, and Harry in his bedroom, and he's just winging it. Like,
yeah,
like
you're right. Yeah.
How what do people care about the quality overall, really, or do they care about, you know, feeling a part of something?
I think people nowadays are certainly a certain type of person, and also a certain generation now, that the way we're growing up, or the way we've grown up, is relatability. I think relatable content, and that's why communities work so well on Twitch. Everyone's community. I know Toastie's has a flavour, Mel's has a flavour, and mine has a flavour. And they might cross over in certain respects, but there's like a real vibe, and everyone that's part of your community relates to you and what you're doing and your foibles and everything else in some way. They relate to, like, they've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. You've seen you raging. They might have seen, they've seen me crying 4 times in the last week. I've cried on the stream 4 freaking times.
No.
Melting my black heart.
What were you crying at? Can I ask?
It's been an emotional week because I've had to get rid of my office, and I've been furloughed, and all of these things had happened, and then but also the partner application came through, but I was able to apply, and so there's all of these emotional things, and I was just thinking everything's changing so quickly, and and everyone, by doing Twitch, these guys have, like, helped keep a roof over my head. They've helped pay my rent for the last 4 weeks.
Yeah,
literally your online cheerleaders, and that's why I mean, circling back to the question that you said, Claire, I think there's a lot to be said about I think it's a real shame that, like, theatre's struggling, because I freaking love going to theatre. Me and my other half, he loves going to the theatre. Like, he is, like, literally, he sits there and he studies it, and he absolutely loves it. And I think a lot of things in terms of human contact and stuff, we're kind of missing those storytelling moments where you'd sit around a campfire and you'd tell a story. And I think with everything that's been going on in the world right now, and a lot of the fact that we've mostly been in lockdown for God knows how long now, that sort of interaction is really limited. Whereas that's where Twitch is really good, and you can have that sense of community and that kind of discourse and conversation with other people. But at the same time, you've got a whole generation now who didn't just grow up with 4 TV channels like I had when I was younger.
Yeah.
And they can watch Netflix whenever they want. They can watch Amazon Prime whenever they want. They can watch Disney freaking Plus if they want to. Like, they are used to constantly having something ready and watchable at their fingertips, which is exactly what they want to watch at that time. There's no kind of like, oh, there's nothing on telly. What am I going to do? Because nobody has that level of boredom anymore.
No, God,
so
Sundays, Mel, Sundays. Yeah. Worst day for TV.
It's the Antiques Bloody Roadshow. Why do I want to watch the Antiques Bloody? And then it's Last of the Summer Wine. No.
The clothes show was good. The clothes show was good. The clothes show was all right. That was fine. I could take that. That was absolutely fine. But yeah,
I think it definitely live streaming definitely, and also places like YouTube definitely have a foothold on the fact that they are more niche subjects and influencers and stuff, where people will just go, right, I really want to watch a makeup tutorial right now, rather than watching, I don't know, how to look good naked because it's not on till next Friday, or there's nothing on iPlayer. Like, it's just kind of about having that change. And I unfortunately think the broadcast industry really still don't take online broadcasting on Twitch or any other live platforms like Mixer seriously yet. They don't think we're a threat. And I think that's a real mistake.
Well, because it lacks foresight. It absolutely lacks foresight. I've got a friend who works for Discovery. She's quite high up. She's been saying, so she knows about all this stuff. She knew about YouTube when YouTube was getting big, because she has to buy the shows, she has to plan the content for all for Discovery around Europe. And she keeps saying to them, she's watched me, she's come in, she's a really good pal of mine, and she's like, look at this. The higher uppers just won't look at it, and they're like,
yeah.
And she's like, what about this? What about that? Or why don't we get this sort of vibe on board, but try and thingy it for Discovery, for television? But it's just slow to react, and they'll be left behind.
Do you think that will, like, die out with the generation? Like, the generation that watches the telly, TV programs at dinner, the generation that goes to the theatre, even a lot of young people, like, it's becoming less and less problem to go to the theatre. If I ask friends my age, do you want to go see a show? It's like it's a big thing, like seeing live performances. Do you think, like, TV will because younger people, like my kids, my little cousins, they're about 4 or 5 years old. They're always on their iPad. They're like glued to their iPad. And there's also a big thing where I'm trying to tell my cousins, I was like, you need to get on the safety on that iPad because there's lots of things they can access. Like when we were young, you need to be careful about. But I couldn't ever imagine like my little cousins watching. They don't even watch TV. They're on the YouTube.
Oh,
On the
see,
YouTube,
with
I
my
sound like my
friends'
granddad.
kids.
YouTube. They're on YouTube.
They're on the
Twitch.
YouTube.
Yeah, that's what she said. But it's just and it's like that's the younger generation. They're gonna grow up, and that it's all there. So why would they want to go see a show, or why would they want to wait ages on TV, for their program to come on?
I don't know, like, 'cause I teach. So I teach 1 day a week, and I teach kids. I say kids, they're not kids. Well, my students are between the age of 18 to 25. I say kids because I'm old. So basically, they're between the ages of 18 to 25. The youngest ones like just turned 18. Those are the youngest ones. And a lot of them, actually, they really surprised me. They know about live streaming, absolutely fine. They absolutely do not watch television. They just don't. But they still love going to gigs. They like going to see something as
Live
an experience.
Music. Yeah.
So I feel like maybe theatre, and they're all into Netflix and all that. They don't even watch Amazon because they say that's for their parents. They're like Netflix kids, right? But they're like really into the live experience. And I do feel that no matter what happens, because we're humans. So I think people still go to a comedy show. Like the last comedy show,
love the Stand.
I love going out to a comedy show and like seeing a show, and I'll make an effort. We'll have dinner because it's an experience. And I don't think you can't bring that. Like you absolutely can't bring that. And I was saying to, was it Mel, or I was saying on stream, so a friend of ours is in quite a big Scottish band, and he was doing Twitch live. They had him on the Twitch live thing. They were doing all these different bands from around the world. So I text messaged him afterwards. He's doing it from his living room. It's very weird because I've seen them play all sorts of giant venues. I text messaged him afterwards, and I was like, well done. That was amazing, Simon. That was great. And he went, I still prefer that he called it the meat space, MEAT. He's like, I still prefer the meat space as a performer as well. He's like, I don't know if I like doing this in my socks and stuff. And I was like, that's fair, but there's nothing, you can't do anything about it. So I do think experiential vibes are what we'll seek, but I think in terms of entertainment and content on television, I think that has to change. Would you agree? What do you think, Toastie?
Television having to change. How they going to make it? Because I think one of the biggest draws of Twitch and live streaming is the interactive side. The fact that people feel they're part of something, even if they're just lurking, they're watching it live, so they're there in the moment. Live is already big on TV, like Eurovision Live or Britain's Got Talent Live. That brings in the hype. So it's just even in your living room, you're feeling like you're a part of it. But most of television isn't live. It's pre-recorded. It's scripted. Like you said with the whole instant thing, like I don't watch telly anymore because I just go on Netflix and have the whole series or BBC iPlayer. But what you were interested in, you're saying about live shows and stuff, people still want that experience of going to see something live, in the moment. And I definitely think, and I prefer live shows and the experience. I prefer performing live, being around people. But it's something I don't know if the younger generation, will they miss it if they never really, if they, I don't feel it's a lot to incentivize them. Like for theatre, for example, there's not a lot to incentivize young people going to see a show because it's really expensive and it takes a lot of time. And
that's true. Yeah, the expense.
They won't miss what they didn't know. Like if they're just used to one-on-one contact. I don't know. But yeah, I think television's gonna need to change. Definitely. But I don't know how it could.
What about you, Mel? You work in TV behind the scenes. You work in telly. You're part. I mean, without giving anything away, you're party to conversations that happen and things. How do you think television is going to go? Do you think this is going to speed up the process of it changing? Do you think?
No, not at all.
Oh, really?
No, because they're stubborn. I mean, it's part of a much bigger conversation, which I won't bog everything down here about. Obviously, who's in charge of what departments, race, representation, all the rest of it. But basically, you've got people in positions of power and commissioning levels who are still making TV they think they want to watch. They're not looking at the new generations now or what's up and coming. Like, I'm very open about the fact that I Twitch stream at the company that I work with. I'm always coming in going, oh my God, we did this last night. Or I dressed up as Jareth the Goblin King and sang Don't Stop Me Now by Queen. And they're like, are you all right, Mel? And I'd be like, yeah, I had a great time. What did you do last night? And a few people show general interest in it. Twitch, on the whole, I think is still a very underrated platform. And it still needs to get a bit more notoriety in terms of a media platform. But there's no kind of I find it very interesting that like mainstream like BBC shows like Strictly have started like including like YouTubers now as personalities or celebrities to take part. I feel like that was like the first little thing that I saw where they were just like, oh, I see. So we are counting content creators as part of the industry now. Okay, cool.
I don't think they always work.
Yeah.
YouTubers on musicals.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure about I started to see that with YouTubers and stuff like that being on actual TV. And I honestly don't think, there's a few reasons why I don't think that works. Number one, the demographic on TV is completely different from the demographic on YouTube. And they've got their own community and their own audience and does not cross-pollinate over all the time. So you might get some older people or people watch that show going, who the heck is this? Also, number two, I think what works for a YouTube channel or what works for stream on Twitch, that talent doesn't always translate over to something where it's a studio or it's something a bit more proper or it's something a bit more scripted. Yes, I don't think they come across. I mean, what do you guys think?
I think, well, is that the reason they're inviting YouTubers on? Are they trying to appeal to like a younger audience?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Bring them in. Like, it's just a case of, like you get jobs in any form of entertainment. A lot of the questions before they cast you, how big's your social media following? How big's your Instagram following? What audience can you bring to the table so this will be worthwhile? Yeah, I honestly think though with Twitch streamers and content creators are a lot more adaptable to going to doing television than, say, a television actor moving from television to Twitch. If that makes sense. I feel like I know I've seen a lot of actors even try to stream, and you're not acting when you're streaming. You need to be constant. You need to be, like on the ball. Like you're not planned. A lot of actors are kind of growing up in their security of like they've trained with like a script and a plan. And I feel it's a lot harder for them television to move to Twitch or YouTube than it will be for YouTubers and content creators to do telly, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I think it depends on the personality as well. I mean, sometimes it works, but I've seen a few. I'm just a grumpy bastard as well, right? I hate everyone on TV. I'm just like, who's that? This is shit. Like, I end up getting really bitchy in front of you. This is crap, that's crap. I hate everyone's recommendations. It's always crap. So I sort of sit there, like, bitching with Paul in front of TV. But when it works, it works. I think it depends if you've got those skills to cross over. Not everybody has those skills. But sometimes you just see, like, this bouncy young YouTuber, and it might be on some kind of show, and no one's getting it. And I'm like, it's not that person's fault. It's the person's fault trying to bring it over and not changing the content for them to make it more malleable and flexible.
I suppose why would they care though? Because they're not in the dying industry or the one that's unpredictable. They're in the industry. They're in the group that's that's got what we think's gonna have a better future. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So they can bugger off and go, well, I've got my community, so it doesn't really matter. But in terms, sorry, go on. What were you gonna say?
I was just going to say, I feel like also with YouTubers and content creators, it's not just about performing in front of camera because they're used to doing it themselves. They've learned the skills of marketing, like doing it, promoting on Twitter, promoting on Instagram. Like with television, a lot of people, it's a group of people, people write the script, like you just do this, do that, look happy. They're told what to do. But YouTubers, I think, a lot more, it's a one-man show. And that's
you're your own producer, your director, your script writer, usually your editor as well. You get a much larger skill set when you content create yourself. And I think although people may be amazingly experienced in other areas, it's just not the whole package moving forward. I totally agree with that.
Absolutely. I mean, in terms of because I feel like especially with what's happening in the world right now and people coming on and being able to create their own content and also keeping themselves busy during this time, and it's evolving. Twitch is ever evolving. How is your content and how are your channels going to evolve as Twitch and the media evolves? That's let's get Toastie to answer that, and then Mel, let's hear what you want to say about it.
In terms of evolving, I don't know. I don't really think about it because I'm still thinking about what I'm going to be doing next week and panicking like in terms of like a few years. For me personally, like I have been doing a lot of thinking of, where am I going to be next year? What I'm still right now. I'm at a really difficult stage because after lockdown, I wanted to move to London, but everything's changing. I need to find a job as well as streaming, and it's come to a point I want to be able to stream full time as a job, but I have anxieties of like, am I going to be able to do that? I need to do, but I also want to do something else. So this is more of a personal thing. Like I'm more kind of, I want to do something that's gonna that I can work on outside that also enhance the stream. So I just kind of think of it in terms of myself. Like I always think I'm going to be streaming, and that's because I'm comfortable. I started variety streaming, and I'm comfortable with the fact that at the end of the day, like it might not be the best way to stream, and I might not be consistent, but I can, like, if I move house, I can stream, I can do holiday, I can travel. Like I even thought about traveling. It's not a problem because I know how to stream with like the chat when I'm walking like abroad. So I always see streaming in my life, and that's how it's gonna evolve for me. Like whatever I do, I'll adapt the stream to it. But in terms of future, I don't know, because you get all these questions of are you going to burn out? A lot of people I think seem to think that streamers, because of how much they stream and it must be so mentally taxing for them, a lot of them are just streaming as much as they can now, only to go on to later jobs like community management or directors or like esports presenters later on. I don't. I've thought about like that opening doors for me, but I'd always like to stream as well and grow my own community.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just kind of see it as in, yeah, just keep winging it, and just keep whatever I do in my life, whatever changes I make, adapt the stream to it as well, so I can keep going live.
Do it, yeah. And what you're doing is good, Toasty. So keep blowing doing what you're doing. That's testament to your community and how good it is. What about you, Mel? Like, how are you evolving as Twitch evolves and the media evolves?
I'm basically rolling with the punches. I'm still really happy that something I started as a silly hobby a couple of years back has given me such fulfillment as a person. And also, I think what I've really noticed during lockdown, or I've realized a lot more, is that even with the little platform I have, I kind of like, I don't know, I peer into people's worlds a couple of times a week when they come into my streams, and I'm becoming part of people's lives and routines, especially since we started Lunch Club when lockdown started.
Yeah.
And it's less about, I think it's become more transactional, but not in a monetary kind of way. Like I feel like I'm getting something out of streaming because I've always really enjoyed it and I really like it, but then I also feel like I'm providing something for other people, be it, I don't know, community or company or whatever it is that's going on at the moment in the world, because it's all on freaking fire.
Yes, it's a nice,
it is
it's a nice space to kind of go, this is not Twitter and this is not whatever, this is my space.
I think that's the beautiful thing. I mean, I just, way of evolving, I just like to keep my corner of the internet, and just continue doing what I'm doing. I don't have any grand plans further down the line.
We can't have any plans, Mel. What the hell is happening?
I'll be just quite happy just going and sitting next to someone who I've not been in the same house as.
Yes.
That's my to stream again with my other half, because we do that usually every Tuesday, and we've been doing that remotely since this started because we don't live together. So there we go. That would be nice. That's how my stream's going to evolve. I'm going to start streaming with people physically in the room with me.
If Mel could see Inel again. Yeah, what do you do together? Tell us what you do together, Mel.
We stream every Tuesday night over on his channel. We mostly do multiplayer stuff, either with the community or just the two of us. Usually online stuff, indie, bit of everything, and just generally go off on massive tangents. Inel talks lots about gaming because he knows lots about gaming. I tend to go off on tangents about everything else, including a little bit of gaming. Occasionally, like we watched the PlayStation 5 announcement the other night. And I was just like, look at the reflection on that. Look at the rain patterns. And I'm like, did that strawberry just say strawberry? And it's just like we're literally the balance, the balance of Twitch.
Yeah.
So but we've been doing that. God, we've been doing Tuesday Tuning for about 2 years now.
Nell's
But
great as well.
We usually do it in person, and when things go back to normal. But yeah, otherwise my stream is evolving every day without me planning anything, basically. And I can see things growing or things doing well without me having to like Machiavellian go, I think I should really try this. I think this will do really well. Like I'm stumbling across stuff, which I think a lot of people do on Twitch, that I go, oh, I really just did this as a laugh and I didn't think anyone would like this, but this has actually gone down really well. So I guess we're going to do this again next week.
Yeah. I mean, now
there's a lot of that.
Now that the partner application has been sent, I'm just looking forward to not looking at the friggin' number every 5 minutes. I just want to. Not that I've not enjoyed it. I enjoy every minute. I've been busting my lady balls to just get to that point. And I'm telling you now, now I'm like today I got on, I was like, I'm just going to blether. I'm just going to have a wee blether. I'm going to go blah, 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 and just blether. And I blethered on for like 2.5 hours before you guys came on. And it was nice. I was like, I don't really care. I don't care. Like, now I can just relax. So you're right. I'm going to wing it from here on in. And just like, still got my shows. I'm still going to do my bullet points, because I like my bullet points and my running orders. Yeah. But yeah, it's nice.
Be a podcast without a bullet point.
No.
Can I ask you, Claire, like, where, you've done like presenting and stuff and now you do shows on Twitch, do you see Twitch overtaken, like, is your main, where do you want to go with Twitch?
Well, at the moment, I've got quite a few big guests from television and film coming on to the Twitch channel. I can't say who they may be or may not be. Some people, and I'm thinking, if I can bring that world over there, that's really great. But
so you're like a bridge, almost? Like, see a lot of guests that you come on, do you have to explain what Twitch is first before you bring them?
Some of them, I was talking to someone today who I did a pilot with. We did a Sky pilot, for Sky Movies, last year. And he's a presenter, and he's been presenting on TV for a very long time. And I was talking to him about Twitch last year, and I was emailing him today about something. And he was like, "Oh, I think I've kind of heard of this," but I think it's because he's so entrenched, and he does great work, but he's so entrenched in, being a television presenter. And I know when I sent him the quick clip of the top 10 list of all list shows, I know he'll look at that and he'll go, "All right, okay, yes," and it's like just trying to get people to understand. I would love it to be a bridge. There's a lot of things I'd love to do that I do on Twitch, but not even on TV, but on the live stage more. Doing
like what?
So I'd love to do like a pod, like some of the podcasts I do, and do it live and interactive with the audience, or doing the top 10 list of all list shows with a dress set, make it super cheesy, but make it very interactive with the audience. People booing and go, "Way!" And so that's why I talk about the experiential thing and experience being really important, and being close to the audience, I think, is important. But yeah, I like it to be a bridge. I don't think we're quite done yet with traditional media. But I think we have to completely embrace this with open arms.
It's just hard to talk about the evolution of Twitch, or where you see yourself with Twitch, because nobody really knows. Like, for the acting industry, for example, you've got the greats to look up to. You've got Judi Dench, all these actors that have done it. You can mold your career after, follow them. But with Twitch, there's not really many people that is grown out of Twitch and retired, and it's still really
they didn't cut their teeth doing Twitch rep around the UK in the 50s. There's no forefathers for us to follow. So we are we're in uncharted ground, but that's kind of what's exciting, because that kind of means that you're kind of left to make your own path and try anything and everything for your own content. But yeah,
it's good. No, I embrace this new future, and I think that anyone who doesn't embrace anything new like this that can be positive, and you see so many positive communities and happiness grow out of it, then you're quite frankly a fucking idiot. Anyway, so
Yeah,
On that note,
First swear of the podcast. I did so well there. I was like, there's a few times during the podcast where I've been like, no, don't swear. Try not to. So tell
did
me.
I swear? I don't think I swore.
I
No,
was allowed. I was holding it back.
No, I mean, you can swear if you want, but I'm just
I'm
trying
usually
to.
super sweary.
We're all very sweary, but we're all being polite, proper ladies.
Oh, did I swear? I must have not even realised then. I thought I was being good.
No, wait. You can. I mean, it's my channel, Toastie, honestly. And Mel was the same. It was like, there's no rules. like, so basically, tell us going forward, you guys. Is there anything come up in your channels that we should be looking out for? Question first to Toastie.
And upcoming in my channel, more podcasts. Like I said, I've been getting really into them. I'm really enjoying it. So I want to get is like reoccurring guests and new guests on every week. Just more cooking streams. Hopefully now the lockdown's lifted, I promised the stream I was going to go Oban because we reached our sub goal. When it's safe to do so, we'll be doing like IRL trips to Oban, and then hopefully I'll be moving house again, so it'll just be adapting to new environments. And GTA 5, we did a poll last week. That's what we're going to be starting as the new main game, is a GTA 5 story.
What a game!
Have you played the story?
Oh, what was that?
Have you played the story, the GTA 5
Yeah,
story?
played it twice off stream before streaming. Oh my god! And like first time I went to LA, I was like, oh, that's not like that bit in GTA 5. That's like that bit.
Yeah.
It looks the same. It looks the actual same. Oh my god!
Can I just tell you? I remember, when I was wee, one of my favorite games was Spider-Man 2, set in New York on the PlayStation 2, and I used to play it all the time. And then I actually went to New York for a day when I was working in the States, like a few years ago, and I left the hotel one night as soon as I got there because I was just excited to see it. I left in a rager because I'd lost my passport or something, so I forgot the map, and I got lost around the city. But the way that I found myself back to the hotel was I seen Central Library in New York, and I remembered like Central Library and Spider-Man game when I was wee, and I was like, I know my hotel's next to that, and I know that's over there.
Yeah.
And I literally navigated through the city just by memory from playing. And it's not an exact replica, but the way like national monuments and stuff were in the map in the game was the exact same in New York, so I could find my way around quite easily. It was insane.
Last year I went to New York for the first time last year, and I was on my own because it's for work, so I was only there for 2 days, and I stood in Grand Central Station because I just played Spider-Man PS4. I'd completed it twice, and I was like, oh, so I swung from there and I did that there, and I was like pure standing there going, oh, I had no one I was just like, I'll be here. And then I went back home, got on Spider-Man the PS4, and I found the street where my hotel was because we were staying in Manhattan. And I was found the street, and I was just stood outside it as Spider-Man. I was like, you sad bastard, Claire, seriously. Standing outside the hotel. What about you, Mel? What have you got coming up? You've got a lot of things coming up. I've seen an animation on Twitter that Mel's made.
I mean, I'm first going to start with a confession.
Okay, go.
I've never played a Grand Theft Auto game.
It's okay.
But
it's okay. No judgment.
I did grab Grand Theft Auto 5 when it was free on the Epic Store the other day. So that's going to change soon.
Yeah.
Very, very soon. Because everyone's just telling me, oh my god, you'll love the story mode in Grand Theft Auto 5. You need to play the story mode. And I'm like, okay. Like, I feel like the backlog's just getting bigger and bigger in my head, and there's only one me. I can't play all the games.
Yes.
But no, coming up on my stream, we are starting a new regular Thursday night strand called Melly Addicts.
Melly Addicts.
Which is a pub quiz style quiz show, which is going to be interactive for the chat to play along, and it's basically a pub quiz. We're going to be doing that every Thursday night, but basically very film and TV retro centric, because that's what a lot of my community are into. And I've also revamped my Bog of Eternal Stench because your girl's been learning After Effects.
Yes.
On some animations. And yeah, I'm very, very happy with that. So I've got that coming up. And we're switching, we're calling it Series 2, like I've got a bigger budget because it looks a lot better than it used to. And just for that one, I'm going to be the guest and have 10 pet hates because we haven't done me before.
Yes.
And then my other half, Einal, is going to put on his presenter voice.
Yes.
And a jacket. He's told me he's going to wear a jacket, and he's going to be the host for me. So yeah, that's this weekend, which will be fun.
Lots of good stuff in Mel's on Mel's channel, so please make sure you get her followed. Where are you, Mel, online? Tell us where you are online.
I'm available in all good bookstores as Her Name is Malula.
Her name is Malula. Toastie, you're not always Toastie everywhere, so you're Toastie on Twitch, but where else can we find you?
Toastie on Twitch, Toastie202 on everything else, like on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram.
There you go.
And on the Discord as well.
So Discord as well, Toastie202, but she's Toastie on Twitch, so make sure you get her followed. Make sure you get Her Name is Malula followed. I am a wee Claire here on Twitch, but I'm wee Claire on Twitter, and I'm wee Claire here on Instagram. I know it's rubbish. So yes, if you want to see me moaning on Instagram because I've decided that I'm just going to be the grumpiest Instagrammer, then come on in. Otherwise,
When you whinge on Instagram?
I'm on Instagram and I'm like, I do Insta stories sometimes where I'm just like, you know what, I don't want to see another fitness video, and that's all I'm saying. Well, everybody's
That's more than I do on mine.
Well, everyone's doing some yoga crap, and I'm like, you know what? It's making me more depressed seeing that. Like, I'm like, God, fuck off.
Instagram reality.
Instagram reality, exactly. And never wearing makeup and just doing a shite filter. So, guys, make sure you get these lovely ladies followed. Guys, it's been absolutely wonderful. We are Crossing Streams podcast live on Twitch every single month, but you can catch up on iTunes and Spotify. So thank you very much, guys, and we will see you again soon. Take care.